Sing unto God on the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. On the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir hadash.
This has really been quite a week, both in the Jewish calendar and in our world. I know that many of us were following the news in Israel this week about the passage of the judicial overhaul with fear and trembling about what the future of the state of Israel holds. And with fear and trembling about what the protests in the streets are looking like right now. And I know more about this than I did before because I forced myself to spend Tisha B'Av, our day of communal mourning, over the loss of the temple. I thought, what is going to make this day miserable for me? And it was actually learning about what was happening in Israel, which I've sort of been avoiding. It's not good. And in a way, it's a fitting week for hard things to happen, because this is the week that in our tradition, we put all the hard things on. We collectively assign to the 9th of Av, all the bad things that happened to the Jews, even if they happened close in time to the 9th of Av. But that leads us to this Shabbat. And this Shabbat is called Shabbat Nachamu, which means Shabbat comfort, as a command form in the plural. A Shabbat comfort, oh comfort my people. And this is the Shabbat I think that many of us need to be comforted. And in the words of Isaiah, God says, comfort, oh comfort my people. But Isaiah says, not that God says it or that our God says it. Isaiah says to the people, Elohechem says it, your God says it, all of your God, in the plural. And so God is giving us an opportunity, each of us, to be comforted in this moment on this Shabbat. And let us be comforted together this Shabbat by being in community with one another, by singing together, by having joy in our tradition together, as we always do when the seventh day comes.
welcome to Anshe Emet. My name is Amy Warner, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you either here in person or online. So tonight I have the pleasure of welcoming Philip Fisherman, who's going to light the Shabbat candles for us.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue to welcome Shabbat with L'chad Odi on page 20.
לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, לכבודי לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתוקפי ובתמי, מה יחסו, עניי עמי בני נתה, יראתי לה, לכבודי לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, לכבודי לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, והיו לי פשיצה שוצאים ורחבו, ואלוהים גסיס עלי, אלוהים תמסוס חטאתה בעלה, לכבודי לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, לכבודי לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, ימינו שמאלתי פרוצי ואתרוני, תריצי הידיש, ופרצי בני שמחה ונגינה, לכבודי לקראתך, בני שבת נקרא, לכבודי לקראתך, בני
Strides to bring the sound of pride.
Shabbat shalom.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד דברי חילותי ויליף מלכותי, בחיי כל יום וכל, ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה, ובזמן קריב יברו, אמן. יהי שמירתם מבורך, ואדם עולם והוויה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירה ועלמה אמרו, אמן.
Please rise.
Baruch
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glides. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Arabim.
Ahavat olam ben Yisrael, Ahavat Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu levanata. Ahavat olam ben Yisrael, Ahavat Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu levanata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shofeinu u'krumeinu, b'shofeinu u'krumeinu nasiach b'chukkecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, חיינו, לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Shekevot, Shekevot, Nachuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shekevot, Shekevot, Nachuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך ובביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem.
At the bottom of page 39, in a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory.
May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, oseh tevet. Nora tehilot, oseh tevet. Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha rachum banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Zegeli anu ve'amru, Zegeli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora oseh tevet. Nora oseh tevet. Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hanideinu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hanideinu shomreinu lechaim. Oshmarteinu, Oloenu, lechaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Hashkiveinu leshalom, v'hanideinu shomreinu ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. Next time everybody, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. I sing my soul, the prayer upon my lips, the song in my heart. Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Ufiani. To open up my lips and sing out from my heart. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor HaNorah, Elyon, Omel Chasadim Tovim, V'Kolei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevih Geulah L'Pnei Bneihem, L'Ma'an Shemo V'Ahavah, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol Tarach Le'Moshiach. Mori atah, Mechaker Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berach. חכמים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר מחמוך בגבורות ומדוממה מלך מביט ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך הסלע ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Continue our Amidah silently with the words on the page and the words in our hearts through page 63, and whenever you're ready, you may be seated.
Shalom Bimroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Israel, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Oh, say Shalom Bimroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Amen. Oh, say Shalom Bimroma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru,
continue with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for reading the Torah on page 246. Please rise.
Baruch Shenatan Torah me'amo Yisrael. Baruch Shenatan Torah me'amo Yisrael. V'kedushato Kimitzion Tzitzit Torah Kvar Adonai B'Yerushalayim. Kimitzion Tzitzit Torah Kvar Adonai Yerushalayim. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai. Kadosh Gadlu Baronayiti, Odinopemah Shemo Yachdav. Ashlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Ashlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Ashlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Ashlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed, al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed, al shlosha devarim. Please be seated. This Torah portion, Bet Patnan, has an awful lot in it. We have the repetition of the Ten Commandments. We have the retelling of the Shema, and basically it's one of Moses' last speeches before the people go in over the river Jordan into the land that God had promised them, their ancestors, and Moses is going to be left behind. But in the meantime, I am going to be focusing on the Shema, and we'll talk about that. We've done the Shema how many times in this service so far? 3? Twice. Okay, twice. Okay, 3 times. I want to know where the third is. We've done it in the beginning of the service, as part of the Shema and blessings, Shema U'Barachot, and we also did it as part of the Torah service. So it's the main tenet of faith, and we shall take a look. So,
So it is my honor to call up our Barb Peabody. I just tripped on those are called labials in the B's and the P's. Barb Peabody. Careful of the candles. Don't burn yourself.
Baruch Adonai Haborach.
Baruch Adonai Haborach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Haborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Ushmartem la'asot ka'asher tziva Adonai Elohechem etchem lo tasuru yamin u'semol bechol haderech asher tziva Adonai Elohechem etchem telechu למען תחיו וטוב לכם וארכתם ימים בארץ אשר תירשון וזאת המצווה החוקים והמשפטים אשר ציווה Adonai Elohechem lelamed etchem la'asot ba'aretz asher atem ovrim shamat l'rishta leman tira et Adonai Elohecha lishmor et kol chukotav ומצוותיו אשר אנוכי מצווך אתה ובנך ובן בנך כל ימי חייך ולמען יאריכון יעמך ושמעת ישראל ושמרת לעשות אשר ייטב לך ואשר הריחון תרבון מאוד כאשר דיבר אדוני אלוהי אבותיך לך ארץ זבת חלב ודבש שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נוטה בתוכנו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל, אבי אדוני ביד משה.
On page 256, Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Ki Niskav Shemo Levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
Odo aneres meshamayim, vayarem kerem le'amo, ve'ilad le'o. Israel, Akerono. Alleluia, Alleluia.
Torah Adonai Tzvika Meshivat Nafesh, Edut Adonai Ne'emana Machkimat Peti. God's Torah is perfect, reviving the soul. God's teaching is sure, making wise the simple. God's precepts are right, delighting the mind. God's mitzvot are clear, giving light to the eyes. God's word is pure, enduring forever. God's judgments are true and altogether just.
Etzvayim lama chazikima v'toreteha ve'ushar v'rakeha darkeino v'chol v'timoteha So a little devar. Before was just an introduction to the Torah, but a little devar. So there's a wonderful book for students that are just starting to learn about Jewish prayer by Joel Laurie Grishaber. Shema is for real. The full title is Shema is for real. I don't know Eloheinu. I don't know Echad. Okay, it's a playful take on the Jewish main tenet of Jewish faith. Hear, O Israel, hear. Really pay attention and listen carefully. All you who struggle with God. Remember the story of how Jacob wrestled with the angel and how he was renamed Israel by the angel, for he had wrestled with God and won. The next line in this retake on the Shema says, I don't know Eloheinu. I don't know Echad, meaning I don't know God. I don't know a thing. Well, if you're not listening or really paying attention, how can you hear anything? My mother used to say, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. 2 ears allow us to listen from any direction, and we can hear things in much finer detail, but only if we keep our mouths shut. If we're quieter yet, we might be able to hear our own heartbeat. Even further still, when we really quiet ourselves down, you might be able to clearly start to pay attention to your thoughts, hearing the ticker tape of our minds, or the radio in our thoughts and memories that play our favorite tune, or the sound of a child's voice, or the words that stir us up from the past. We can even change the direction in time. Yes, we can go backwards into our memory bank, but also move forward, beyond and project into the future, a future where we can use our own powers of imagination and creativity to build the vision of a future that we want to live in. I think a clue was given right at the beginning of the Torah. The first days of creation, each day ends with, there was evening, and there was the first day, the second day, the third day. We create in our imaginations the scaffolding of the future in our thoughts and our dreams. And then waking up, we have the challenge to live the life of our internal or inner or spiritual creations. It's such a waste of time to see so many kids buried in their cell phones or some kind of computer screen or iPad, playing games in their idle time in order to jump over an obstacle or get the ball in the proverbial hoop. Worse yet, they want to kill or blow up or do something of some kind of combination even faster. How many adults do I see that are fully engrossed for hours every day with emails and social apps to help work and their schedules? They even socialize through Facebook or other social platforms, but only in 2 dimensions. That leaves us so little time to experience life in its fullest, 3-dimensional and 4-fold way. 3-dimensional dimensions in our physical space, and only one part of our full 4-fold world, including our outward physical being, along with the inner worlds of emotions, thoughts, and I dare say spiritual connections, the ways of really connecting with God. Please don't consider me a Luddite. There are many and great benefits to technology, but where is the balance that reminds us of the phrase, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad? Okay, that everything is God and that God is one. We are all connected. Everything that we do to ourselves and the world is connected and has an effect on everything else. Think of the butterfly effect to the extreme. What I see is that many of us are connecting visually and in conversation, but we're missing touch, a handshake, a hug. We are missing the full experience too often of being with each other. Why the first thing after the first statement of the Shema in the Ve'ahavta is you should love Adonai with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your being. All your being, that great moment of now, like God's I am. COVID taught us what isolation can do to our inner worlds. And as we move forward, consider a rebalancing to include being with people more often. Yes, it's nice to know there are people out there in TV or Zoom or other ways of remaining at home, but being present and in person gives you the fullest experience. Shabbat Shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashura Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu
As we strengthen ourselves with words and learning of Torah, we also pray for strength for those in our community among us who are in need of healing. O God of healing, in our hearts we name all those who are dealing with illness and pain, and we join our prayers with theirs as we pray for their courage and strength, for wisdom for those trusted with their care. May your love and ours give added hope to them and their families. V'yishaberach Avotenu v'imotenu, hu yivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, hashta ba'agalau b'zman kariv, v'nomar. Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those in need of healing. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, on page 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishemeach imotenu, mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of life, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Before we begin to conclude our service, which is always a funny sentence to say, I have a couple announcements for everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank Matthew Williamson for uplifting us with song, as now I've been saying to do every week. I'm excited to join all of you after services for Oneg in the Media Center. And I have a different announcement about the clothing sale, about the rummage sale that I've been having in the past. So instead of telling you to bring things, please don't bring things. But we do need volunteers to work the clothing sale on Sunday, August 6th, Sunday, August 13th, and Monday, August 14th. That math I just did in my head is very impressive. The days of the week are not in here. And so please contact Debbie Cohn if you can help out. We would really appreciate it. Also, the deadline to have names put in the In Remembrance booklet on the high holidays has been extended to August 5th. I don't know what it was before, but it's August 5th now. And early bird high holiday ticket registration is over, but you can still order tickets. So if you haven't done so, please do so this weekend so you don't miss out. And I ended that sentence like I had more to say, and I don't. So we're going to continue with Aleinu L'Shabbat on page 282. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teikula li'oser b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samadu b'mishpachot ha'adamah, shelo samu chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך.
May be seated. Please join me on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו
The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. At this time, we recall with sadness those whom death has recently taken from us, whose families are observing Shloshim. We remember Frederick Paul Coppola, husband of Danielle Coppola, father of Lori Scher and Amy Coppola, father-in-law of David Scher, and grandfather of Julia, Matthew, Dan, and Andrew. And we also remember Ellen Downs, the wife of Bert Downs, and the mother of William. We also recall tonight those whom we lost at this time in years past, whose names appear in our service booklet and are inscribed forever in our hearts and throughout our building. If you're saying Kaddish at home, please share the name of your loved one in the chat or out loud so that we may lift up their names with you. And if you're here with us in person, please share their names as my eyes meet yours.
Nicole Bro.
Helen.
Jeff Andrew.
Zichronam Livracha. May all their memories be for an eternal blessing. I invite all the mourners, if able, to rise for Mourners Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'adalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'lamei almaya, v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei v'kedusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechmata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalom araba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say.
Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol We close our service with the singing of Ein Kelohenu, Non Como Nuestro Dio on page 327 as we rise. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Adonenu, Ein Kemakeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Mi Eloheinu, mi Adonenu, mi Kemakeinu, mi Kemoshienu, en como nuestro Dios, en como nuestro Señor, en como nuestro Rey, en como nuestro Salvador. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Emakeinu, no del Moshienu. Lo haremos a nuestro Dios, lo haremos a nuestro Señor, lo haremos a nuestro Rey, lo haremos a nuestro Salvador. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Akeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendicho nuestro Dios, bendicho nuestro Señor, bendicho nuestro Rey, bendicho nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro